Afternoon, everyone. It's very privileged for me to share my couple of the things what I have realized and what I have seen in especially in AI. So I'll be talking about uh, this Industrial Revolution 4.0. Then also I'll be talking about what are the challenges of Industrial Revolution 4.0. Then I will move to the artificial intelligence, which is now coming up very rapidly in the entire world. Then I'll be talking about the soft power with the AI to address the challenges of Industrial Revolution 4.0. And finally, I'll conclude my talk. So if you look at the history of the Industrial Revolution, so let's go back to the first Industrial Revolution, second, third, and the fourth. So first Industrial Revolution, like it was about the mechanical revolutions through the steam engine, and that during that time, like most of the countries in the West, they got a lot of advantage from the first Industrial Revolution. And the second was it was in the 19th century, late 19th centuries, and it was about this electric power. So that time also, like they got a chance to know, and they got a chance to get a lot of benefit from the second industrial revolution. And the third one, it was automation through the computer systems. And finally, now after 2015, we have the new industrial revolution 4.0, where all the intellectualization of the factories and the intelligence of the automations it is now coming up. So with your permission, let me go to the next slide. The industrial revolution 4.0, if you look at the industrial revolution, we means with South Asian, we have almost missed all the previous industrial revolution. We are deprived of getting a much benefit from the first industrial revolution. Even we are deprived of getting a much benefit from the second, third. But this industrial revolution is especially for us. It is for the Pakistan, it is for the Nepal, it is for the South Asia, because it is for the least developed and developing countries. Why it is so? But one thing is, I want to add as a prefix, it is not only Industrial Revolution 4.0, but it is a intelligent Industrial Revolution 4.0. That's what we have identified as one of the core attributes of the 4.0. And it is the knowledge based. And now the entire globe or the entire world is now interconnected. Not only interconnected, but more on interdependent. That is one of the features that what we have identified in Industrial Revolution 4.0. We are more dependent to each other. So that is, and since it is more intelligent, and we are not less intelligent than the others, we are not less competent than the others. So that is the reason why I always tell this Industrial Revolution 4.0 is for us, and it is. Because as a brain, we also have 100 billions of the neurons. Like it is not that we have the less neuron than the West people, we have the less neurons than the Eastern Asian people. We have the same billions of the neurons in our brain. And 80% of our brain is covered by powerful neurons. And we have the capacity in making a plan and imaginations. That is the reason why Industrial Revolution 4.0 is for us. And if you look at this one, I will tell you something about, maybe the physics professor may not agree about two earths. So this is the fundamental, like we have one earth as a visible, and the other end or other part of the point we have the unlimited digital earth. If you look at the visible earth, we have the limited land, maybe the 100,000 kilometers square, and we have the limited resources. But now we are in the era of unlimited digital earth. We have the plenty high-tech soil. It is a knowledge resources. There are so many opportunities are there. We are interconnected now in the entire globe. So we have to emphasize on the unlimited digital earth. But at the same time, this unlimited digital earth is balanced by three universal forces. We have the three universal forces we can call, these are the three pillars, and they play the significant role in balancing the universal forces. So one is globalization. Globalization is one of the pillars. Here now we are more and more globalized. A community, a company, a country can do very less thing alone. We have to go for the globalizations. We have to go for we have to explore how we can work with the other people in around the world. So globalization is one of the pillars that makes a very significant role in balancing the forces. And the second one is the technology. As we know, the Moore's law, it is every 18 months is the doubling the capacity of processing power. So technology is booming up, and we have to adopt ourselves. We have to be smart enough to adopt the changes of the technology. And globalization and the technology, they are made for each other. Once we have the more globalizations, definitely we need more technology. And once we have the technology is getting advanced, we have the more globalizations. So these are the two pillars, but one pillar is also there, it's climate change. When I was giving this talk last time, one of the audience, he said the climate change is not, it doesn't belong to the IT, so why it is considered as one of the pillars for the universal forces. But the fact is, climate change is not an issue for the personal person. It is not an issue for only the biological scientist. It is not the issue for the only environmental scientist. It is an issue for everyone. So this is the reason why we have considered this one of the pillars. And these three pillars make a triangle. And the entire globe now is based upon this triangle. So we have to be smart enough to make the balance between this one. So how do we make the balance? So what are the technologies that we need? So the future technologies, if you look at, but before that, the big data is coming up. Globalization also emits a huge volume of the data. That the technology also emits the huge volume of the data. And the climate change also emitting a huge volume of the data. And these all big data can be managed by artificial intelligence. That is what we are looking for. And if you look at the future technology, yes, AI is there, machine learning, deep learning is coming up, Internet of Things is coming up, more advanced industrial Internet of Things, IoT is coming up, which is one of the core technology of Industrial Revolution 4.0, big data and robotics. So let me start for the artificial intelligence. I think I am audible, right? Is okay? Yeah. Okay. So let me start this. If you look at the difference between the human and the machine, right? So what we do, like we have the two types of abilities. One is the physical abilities, and second one is cognitive abilities. And the machine, previously the machine was used for the human physical ability just by the automation. But now machine is getting smart. Machine also started addressing the cognitive by learning, analyzing, communicating, and more on human emotions. And there is one term coming up in artificial intelligence. Simply, core artificial intelligence will not help us now onward. So the scientists or the computer scientists, they are also working with another term we call as emotional intelligence. Now, which has the ability to monitor your own or other people's emotion. How do they behave? How to make them please? So these terminologies are coming up. So now, if you look at what as a human we do, we have the capacity of sensing, we have the capacity of comprehensions, and we have the capacity of acting. And these three main capacities now it is getting I'm not telling the replace, but it is getting help from the AI technologies like computer visions and audio processing. It is one, and also it's coming for the NLP knowledge representations, and also like the robotics. So these are the AI technologies. So they are helping us, human being, for the sensing, comprehending, and the acting, and also we have different illustrative solutions. So this is what the human and the machines, they are related. But now again, if I go for the AI, there are the hundreds of the definitions. If you just simply the Google, you find the hundreds of AI. But my understanding is very simple. I always tell my students, it is nothing but just making our machine smart like us, but without any error. So we don't expect a machine to do the error. So that is the why that AI is coming up. And but besides this, AI is for the descriptive, and so like which talks about what happened, and also AI is for the predictive, which is very famous in using the what will happen after a couple of months, couple of years, especially predicting the behavior of the customer or the other thing. And recently, let me tell you that last month I had a chance to visit the Vietnam, where I had a chance to meet the dental surgeon, and we are working on one research like they will be sending us the panoramic view of our mouth, like which shows all these jaws and the teeth. And based upon the data, so we are writing an algorithms to predict about the quality of the teeth. So this is what we are working right now at our university for the predictive, and also the prescriptive, which is another parameters for the artificial intelligence, like what to do. So this is how we have to understand the AI from my perspective. But if you look at the state of art of AI, it is not at a John McCarthy. So he said the philosophy AI in 1955, long back. And also, but that time it was not so popular. It was a rule-based expert system. Even I did when I was in the fourth year in undergraduate in early 90s. Like I also studied the AI, but that time I just studied the AI just for getting a good grade. I didn't know what is the importance of AI. Even I taught the AI one or two times in early 2000. That time also, but the fact is, like what it is said that by 2025, 75 billion devices will be connected in the internet. So each one of us will have at least 10 devices, and each device, it generates a huge flow. That is the reason why we have to go. And the US and the China is doing the tremendous work. Like I do recommend there's a book from AI Superpower from the Kai-Fu Lee. So he has written a very good book on how this AI changes the humanity, and they are putting more than 58 billion US dollar on AI researches. That also shows, okay, how the world is moving after the artificial intelligence. And also in China, they have the personal AI is coming up. So many like innovative works are coming up. Now, again, this is the history, so I will not go much about, I have told you about AI and machine learning and deep learning coming up. But let me move to the next slide. So AI is the lead. Because I do remember what this John Chambers, retiring Cisco CEO, has said in 2015, like the 40% of the companies will be dead in 10 years. The only one goes attempt to go digital will survive. Same thing is going to happen today. If we miss the train of AI, our next generation definitely will not be happy with us. So we have to realize this importance. Otherwise, let's look at the Nokia. Nokia is coming up, but the Nokia the status of the Nokia was not so good. See, where is the BlackBerry now? So these are the because they were not able to adopt the speed of the technology. That is the reason why they are a little behind. So we should learn the lesson from that, and we have to go for the AI. Now, let me go for let's change my presentation for what is the soft power now. So what is the role of the soft power? The soft power is basically the imagination. So imagination does not have the boundary. Imagination is far better than the knowledge, because imagination drives the knowledge, and imagination gives a very good innovations. But the challenge is how to convert the imagination to the innovations. So soft power, it always talks about how we can make our brain, how we can direct our brain for the software-oriented thinking, how we can enhance the imaginations, how to make the creative work so that the innovation can be done, so that those new things, startup can be emerged. No matter, even if we fail, no matter, so it's not be worried about that. But we have to take a lesson from each failure. I'll give you one example because myself and Dr. Farman were in South Korea. So the South Korea, so they did a rapid development. They never get scared for the implementation. Many times they fail, but every time they try to learn the lesson. And once they learn the lesson, they rectify the lesson and they move ahead. And also we have to go for the flexible and logical thinking. So these are the things for the soft power. And this has to be embedded with the artificial intelligence to address the challenges of industrial revolution 4.0. Now, if you go back to hard power and soft power, the first three revolutions, first, second, and third, input was the resources, raw materials, and output was the product. But the people are not happy right now only with the products. They are looking for the service. They are expecting some innovative service. And fourth revolution is especially for the input as imaginations, as an idea, and the output as an innovative service. That is the beauty of the soft power. Now, having said this, I would like to read from one book, From 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. So what he has said here, he made the x-axis and the y-axis. He said that this, like the vertical is from 0 to 1 is for the innovation. And the horizontal is 1 to 8 is a copy. But he advocated like we have to create something new rather than copy others. In one side it is good, it is correct. But sometimes we have to copy as well. But we have to copy in the sense like if we feel by copying the technology from outside is good for our community, there is no harm. But what he said, like every time we create something new, we go from 0 to 1. So this is all about the innovations. Now let me tell you about a couple of success stories of soft power. The software, look at here the Alibaba group. See the Jack Ma, how he came up. See the Uber, Airbnb, Fitbit. So there are the success stories now. There are many more. Only I have to consider this for. There are many more. All there because they adopted the power, the potential of the soft power. And also I like to tell you like General Electric, the CEO once he said like they would like to be a top 10 software company within 2020. So once they go for soft power, only they can survive. Because they believe like service represents about 75% of the industrial earning. Look at another one, like Jara. They also have already decided they have to go for the digital. They have to go for using the soft power. So all this is that this coming, not only Zara, Adidas, Nike, everything. So this is the fact. So this is the reality. Now, having said all these things, all these facts, let me spend a couple of minutes talking about what we have to do, because my view is how we have to go for the strategy for the fourth industrial revolutions. Because our country, Nepal and Pakistan, we are very good friends, and also our so many things are very similar. So I think that is also more applied in Pakistan as well. Like first we have to develop the human resources for the soft power. Develop the human capacity. We have to make the awareness for the importance of the soft power. Then we have to go for the global entrepreneurship ecosystems. That's the second part. Yes, and the financial system is also the third step. Like how can we motivate the people? How can we talk with the big venture capitalists to donate or to put some money on these industrial revolutions? So this is the third one. And finally, we have to go for the fourth industrial revolutions, We have to have the comprehensive plan for intelligent information society. We have to convince our policymaker next era is era of intelligent systems. Everything is getting automated. So this is how we have to move. And I think it is more appropriate for almost all everywhere in the world. Now, after a couple of talk and a couple of literature that I have gone through the AI, so what I have concluded on the AI is my thoughts, right? Because people, they are very scared of AI. But we can turn AI into IE, like they are not intelligent assistant or intelligent advice with the state of intelligent algorithms. That is what we expect from the AI. We should not get scared from the AI. And it is not at all, it's made for taking all our jobs, but it will happen if we are late in redesigning our education system from primary to the university. And also we have to equip our students lifelong learning, how they can adopt the new environment, how they can learn, keep on learning. Even after graduating from the university, if they stop learning, they cannot move ahead. So we have to motivate our students, please don't stop learning. Even if you get a certificate, even if you are graduating from the university, no matter, even if you are the PhD postdoc, but if you are if you stop after getting the PhD or the postdoc or the master and say, oh, this is enough for me, then the whole opportunity also will be stopped. So that is what the AI is talking about. And let us not consider what machine can do better than human being, because most of the people, they are very much confused. They always get scared, oh my God, the machine is doing far better than human being, we lose the job. This is not the scenario. We have to consider on what and how humans can do better with machine. Machine is not our competitor. Machine is our friend. But we should be smart enough to take the potential of the machine and we make ourselves ready for these roles. So these are the thirds on the AI. And the last thirds, what I've been telling, because of the rapid growth of the globalizations, as the Pillar have said, about climate change, also about the technology, about the Moore's law, actually doubling the Moore's law, the knowledge depreciation rate is very high. So in order to survive, we have to be smart enough to refresh ourselves with the new knowledge. We should not ignore what the things coming up. We have to adopt things. We have to uplift ourselves. Otherwise, we will be on the other side of knowledge divide. Right now, there is no digital divide. There is no digital divide at all. Everyone is access to the divide. And that is not much serious. But the most serious by threatening is knowledge divide. So because the knowledge is depreciating in high speed. So we have to be able to adopt ourselves and change. Now I'll go for the last slide of my conclusions. As I have told at the beginning of my presentation, Industrial Revolution 4.0 is especially for us. It is not for others. It is for Pakistan. It is for Nepal. It is for the South Asian country. So let's take the opportunity for Industrial 4.0. And I also have told we have to work together because of the globalization. One speaker has said globalization, earlier it was the country globalizations and the company globalizations and now individual globalization. What does it mean? If a graduate from one university, if they go to the market, if they go to adopt the feature of Industrial Revolution 4.0, and the competitor will be not within from his office only, the competitor will be from around the globe. So we have to make our students smart enough to take this challenge as innovation. It's not innovation-based economy. And let us not make the war. Let's make the flow. Let's welcome the people from outside the country. Let's go out of the country and work together. This is what is expecting Industry Revolution 4.0. And the fact is, many people they argue, many people just say AI is not our cup of tea, AI is not coming up. But the reality is, if you like or you don't like, if you love or you hate, if you accept or you ignore, but there is AI, and there will be AI, not only for the computer science, not only for the IT, not only for the electric power. AI is for everyone. AI is for medical scientists. AI is for the historian. AI is for biological scientists. AI is for pharmacy. Even AI is for the humanities also. So everywhere that you will find AI. With this, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Dr. Farman.